will pass the horizontal line test. It is 1-to-1. It will have an inverse. And the range for the original entire parent graph of sine and the range for the restricted domain are both -1 to +1 with square brackets. So you don't want to ever restrict your domain in a way that removes part of your range, and this does not. So the range and domain, when you go from the regular function to the inverse function, remember we switch x and y. So the domain of the arc sine or inverse sine will be square bracket -1 to +1 square bracket, and the range will be square bracket -π/2, comma +π/2 square bracket. It's going from the original function to the inverse x and y switch. So what used to be domain is now the range. What used to be the range is now the domain. So I've given you the parent graph of sine and the highlighted restricted domain, if that is something that you're going to be able to remember. This part is to kind of do the same thing, but on a unit circle type picture. -π/2 to +π/2 means from straight down to straight up, but it has to be in one continuous piece. So it is true that inverse sine is restricted to quadrant 1 and quadrant 4 on the unit circle, but I cannot go into quadrant 4 the normal way, starting at 0 and going almost all the way around. So 5π/3, 7π/4, 11π/6, those are not options. I'm going to have to go the shorter negative way, and that's why in your table I have, it's the very last page of the notes, I have included some pieces and left out some other pieces because of the restricted domains. So for sine, in the first quadrant, 0, π/6, π/4, π/3, π/2. I told you before there is a pattern that can help you get these really, really quickly. For quadrant 1, square root of 0/2, square root of 1/2, square root of 2/2, square root of 3/2, square root of 4/2. And you simplify when you can. Square root of 0 is 0. 0 divided by 2 is 0. Square root of 1 is 1, and 1/2 doesn't reduce any further. Square root of 2/2 doesn't reduce at all. Square root of 3/2 doesn't reduce at all. Square root of 4 is 2, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. I told you inverse sine is for -π/2 to +π/2. So the other part where inverse sine works is in quadrant 4, but going the short negative way. So -π/6, -π/4, -π/3, and -π/2. If you remember, sine is odd, which is nice for helping you remember how to do these things. It means when the angle is negative, the result is negative. So for -π/6, sine is -1/2, -π/4 is negative square root of 2/2, -π/3 is negative square root of 3/2, and -π/2 is -1. But I cannot go out past π/2 for inverse sine. This table is specifically to help you with 5.7. This is not going to be given to you. So all of those pieces of information with the transformations for 5.5 and 5.6, those are not on the formula chart. This is not going to be on the formula chart, but if you memorize this, you can write it down for yourself on scratch paper when the test starts, and you can use this. So it's up to you how much you remember, how you choose to do this, but you need to be able to use the formula chart and what you know to do the problems on the test.